I guess it's that time again, is it? Let me first clean up my layout. It's a mess. And I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, we have trains running. I added a few more cars to it. Been working feverishly on this for the last few months. I have some track work to do. As you can hear, it almost sounds like it's shifting gears. But while that's running, let's go over to the workbench. Okay, we're over here at the workbench. I'm going to talk about airbrushing. If you're still using paintbrushes and rattle cans to spray paint your locomotives and your rolling stock, I'm going to really encourage you to get an airbrush. This is a 2-stage. I use it for everything now. The rattle cans, I understand the particles that make up the paint are not fine enough, so when you spray paint your rolling stock, you'll lose some detail, especially if it's N scale, because there's not much detail there to begin with. I find it much better with an airbrush, and I just use acrylics. I've tried every thinner on YouTube, and what works the best for me, for the acrylics, water-based, is distilled water. So I don't need to go into that with you because there are a lot other people out there on YouTube that can explain it better than I can. So I will put the links down below to their websites. But as long as you're using craft paints like at the dollar store, Walmart, or even at an art store, acrylic paints, distilled water, I feel, works the best. I've tried isopropyl alcohol. It looks like overdue milk in a coffee. It's got that powdery look. When you mix it, it's got blotches. I don't like that. I tried dishwasher spotting agent. Not very good. One thing I did notice when I was reviewing the YouTube channels before my link is they put a couple of drops in the distilled water to help the viscosity of the inks. I might try that yet. I haven't tried that, but I might. But let's talk about airbrushing. Airbrushing, I'm not the best painter in the world, but with the acrylics and mixing it the way you're going to watch on the YouTube channels I put down below, they go on really nice. And get a bunch of dollar store spoons, because you're going to want to spray the spoon, because that will show you how well your mixture is and how it's going to go on. Do not buy the airbrush on Amazon that's got the little pump, because you need to get this up to 25-30 pounds minimum for a good spray, and I don't think they did that when I bought them. I don't think they gave enough air pressure, but I did get an airbrush out of it, and you can get them for about 80 bucks. But what you want to do is you want to get an air pump, a designated air pump for your airbrush. So it's a bigger unit. I'll show you the picture here in a moment. You can get them for like 150 bucks. They come with an airbrush as well. You want to make sure it's a 2-stage airbrush minimum. I had a 1-stage airbrush. 2 stages is the way to go. You can control the amount of flow. We'll go over that in another episode. When you get your airbrush, you're going to want to rip it apart right away. There's the nozzle. You screw it out, less flow, screw it in, better flow. Don't know if you can see it, but when you pull that back, see the needle retracts and goes out, retracts and goes out. That's what you're doing. Cap comes off. The barrel here at the back comes off. And there's your needle. It goes in here and out there. So after your use, the reason I say this is because you need to get familiar with your airbrush. You don't need to take this apart, but you need to take this out. So you unscrew the back, unscrew that, and pull the needle out. Okay, that's it. Clean up in there, make sure it's good. Clean your needle. Put your needle back in. And what I will do is I'll have a Kleenex on the end here, and I'll go in and out because you'll push some gobs out. Okay, and then what I do, I never did this before, and it was always plugged when I started to use it. But what I do now is I pull this out, I don't know, past the entrance of the cup. Okay, your cup, of course, you clean that, right? And then you put your nozzle on. Now you got to be careful with these nozzles because they have a rubber seal, and if you lose that rubber seal, you'll lose your seal. It's like a O-ring, but really small. So you put that back on, leave that loose. You can tighten this up if you like, and then I just put it in my reservoir holder. Sometimes I'll put isopropyl alcohol in there and let it just feed through, and that's it. So I really encourage you to buy an airbrush. Like I said, I think the air pump and the airbrush is like $150 on Amazon. I want you to think of something. What do you pay for an engine? $300, $400, $500 for an engine. $150 for an airbrush, and you're a painter. Makes sense. So this is my airbrush setup. 2-stage airbrush, right? And the pump. Now this pump says it can go up to 58 psi's, but I've only got it set for 25, 30. And I added this brass bracket so that I could put this holes on it. Now you can get moisture in these, so you have to get a moisture trap. So I put rather than putting the moisture trap here, I put it on the end of my brush. I saw a person on YouTube that had done that. Again, Amazon, I got these quick release pieces that quick release, so I can just pop on my airbrush. I don't know if this is plugged in. Let's see. Yeah, it's plugged in, so they're away. Yeah, so that's set for 25 pounds. I'm going to try doing a little bit higher shortly and see how that works. But like I say, over 100 but under 200, you can have this set up. Sweet deal. Works really, really well. Just set that on the floor. I unhook this, loop it over a handle. Okay, let's talk about inspirations. Where do you get your ideas for your model railroad layout? Where do you get them from? One place you can go is magazines. And over the years, Model Railroader and Railroad Model Craftsman have been the go-to magazines. Railroad Model Craftsman I subscribe to, hashtag not sponsored, because I can't buy this in my local area. Just no one seems to have it. Their publisher, White River, doesn't seem to really push it. So this I subscribe to. Model Railroader I can pick up in a grocery store or drugstore. They seem to be more plentiful. My local hobby shop also carries it, but doesn't carry Railroad Model Craftsman. Anyway, this is the October issue. I might do a review on this issue. I'm going to go through it. I haven't got the October Railroad Model Craftsman. When I do, I will probably review both these magazines on how they support the N-scale. I belong to N-scale enthusiasts, the group, the club, and they tell you what was coming out in N-scale every 2 months, I believe, maybe 3 times a year. I get that. It's expensive, but it's a good. Of course, you're trying to relate to real life and model real life, and there's trains. That's like a trade magazine that's got more modern articles of railroads of today. Sometimes, the odd time, they go into history. Railfan Railroad. Not only do they do modern, but they also do a lot of historical articles. And they cover wide ranges of freight, passenger, and they are more of a rail fan magazine. I really like that magazine. I read it cover to cover. Then there's the historical associations. They belong to CN Lines and CP Tracks, and they're just full of historical facts and railroads and steam. If you're into steam, both these magazines are what you want to have. Of course, they talk about GP38s, GP40s, as well as the steams, and they have images and pictures of modern day railroading as well as historical day railroading, and they're really good for ideas on what you want to do. Well, that's just a small sample of what you can do. Then, of course, there's YouTube. One of my favorites is DJ Trains. I'll add a link to him down below. He does drone footage of the local area. I believe he's a train engineer. I'm not sure with which railroad. And there are a few others I will link down below as well. So, of course, the best place to get your inspiration is rail fanning yourself, getting out there at trackside, looking at what's available, looking at what's going by, and incorporating that into your layout. A lot of my inspirations are actual locations here in Ontario, Canada. I have a name for my railroad. I'm not ready to disclose it yet. I'll do a whole episode on that when I do. But yeah, so let me know where you get your inspiration from. I would like to know that. So drop me a line, email me at Mainline Modeler, or leave a comment down below. And remember, if you like what you see or you want to keep in touch, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you keep up to date. I have a couple more things I want to talk about. Today I went to an art supply store in my local mall, and I got I don't know what size brush this is. Let me see if I can get my glasses on and I can read it. I have my glasses, but not my reading glasses. It doesn't tell me what size of brush this is, but it's really fine. I can hardly wait to use it for detail work. I don't know if it's a number 0 or a number 1 brush, but I have brushes right here, old brushes. These things are like 20 years old, and what I do is I put them in water and then I let them soak in isopropyl alcohol. And this one here, this brush here, I made I made as a 0, but it's not. It's having a tough time right now. So it is. Okay. So that's that. Those are old brushes. I get new brushes, but I'm not an artist. Let me know what you do to keep the brushes in good shape. I haven't used this brush yet, and I'm afraid to because it's a beautiful brush, but I will. Let me know how you keep your brushes nice. Okay. I got some matte varnish. I'm doing a building over here that I'm going to use printed material on for bricks rather than 3D printing bricks, just as an experiment. And I'm going to cover it with varnish. I think this will work on decos as well. You do a inkjet deco paper. I'm hoping that's going to work on that as well. Dystopia, Danny the other night showed us these glue applicators that go on the end of the glue bottle. I got one right here. Right? Goes on the end. He says this here plugs up. You just nip the end off and carry on. That's pretty cool. So I bought them on Amazon. They were like, I don't know, $10. I got 300 of them. That should last me a while. And he also mentioned about a super glue that is like water viscosity, so I ordered that as well. That was $8, $10. So maybe we can try that later. Then I got this paint. I have no idea what this paint is. I don't know what it is. Water base. Whatever. I'm gonna try this. This looks pretty good. Now how are we gonna clean it up? Let's try a little bit of water. See if that'll work. If you don't want to spend money, don't go to an art store. Yeah, it must be water based. Looks pretty good. Huh, okay. So that must be water based. That was $5, 5.5. Okay. My question to you is though, when you're running your N-scale rolling stock, what do you do with their jewel cases? Do you put them somewhere? Do you have them in drawers? Do you keep them separate from jewel cases that have rolling stock already in them? I'd like to know that. So that's about it for this issue of Mainline Modeler. Next month, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. But please, again, hit that subscribe and the bell. And when I do put up another video, you'll be the first to see it. So thank you for tuning in. And again, if this is your first time, welcome. And if you returned, thank you very much. Have a good day.